We are live. Hey, how is it going? Lee Hayward here with another live video chat for Friday, April the 3rd. And the way these video chats work is I'm going to be hanging out here for the next hour and basically just answering some questions that you want to discuss with regards to building muscle, losing fat, getting in shape. Specifically now in this whole situation we're in, if you want to discuss strategies for home workouts, any specific nutrition strategies and things that are coming up, because I mean the world is changing. We're in uncertain times, and there's a lot of confusion, there's a lot of frustration, and we're trying to make the best of it. So again, if you have anything that you would like to discuss today with regards to your fitness, your nutrition, your muscle building, or fat loss goals, feel free to type in those questions or topics of discussion in our chat window, and I'll do the best I can to help you out over the course of our video chat today. And while you're doing that, let me know where you're tuning in from, what part of the world you're tuning in from, what time it is in your local area. I always like to know who's tuning in and where they're from. And if you're new to this video chat, let me know by typing the letter N in the chat window. Right? I always want to see who's new. And of course, if you are a regular, then you can type in the letter R to let me know that you are a regular. All right, so let's get this show underway. One thing you've probably been noticing, if you've been following along with my stuff, is I've been doing live home workouts on a regular basis over on the Total Fitness Bodybuilding Facebook page, and they've been really catching on good. I mean, I've been getting a lot of positive feedback from that. A lot of people enjoying those live workouts. So I've been doing it now for a couple weeks straight. Haven't missed a single session. Covering different types of workouts that you can do at home using minimal equipment. So like the first week was all geared towards total body metabolic conditioning type workouts. The second week was geared towards a body part split routine where we broke it up, had an arm day, leg day, chest day, back day, shoulder day, ab day. We even had a dedicated stretching day put in there as well. So it's fun. It's just a nice change of pace. And this is what I've been doing myself, like going along with these follow along workouts and using minimal equipment, just dumbbells, resistance bands, body weight exercises, very simple stuff that you can do even if you're stuck at home and you can't get to the gym, which I'm assuming like the vast majority of people out there right now are in that situation. I have talked to a few people in some parts of the world where the gyms are not shut down yet. But in most places, like I know in North America, it's shut down. Most places throughout Europe, it's shut down, but there are a few places where you can still go to the gym, but they're few and far between, and who knows how long they're going to stay like that, because obviously the gym is one place where it's hard to keep social distancing, and it's easy to spread germs if somebody does have germs to spread. So I can totally respect where they're coming from with shutting the gyms down during this current situation to just kind of control the spread of the virus. But at the same time, it is very frustrating to deal with, especially for those of us who love going to the gym. I mean, I'm kind of drove nuts. I'm half batty because that was one thing that I really look forward to doing. It's just getting out and going to the gym. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. And now where I don't have access to that, I miss it. I really do. And I mean, not just that. I mean, just miss doing stuff in general, like, simple things like to go out shopping and things like that. Not that I'm a big shopper, but I mean, hey, it's fun to do every now and then just to get out and, interact in real world and not be afraid of people. And that's kind of taken away from us at the time being, right? Everybody, like when you're at the grocery store or whatever, like everybody is going around with the gloves and the masks and like afraid to come close to each other. And for good reason. I mean, you don't want to get sick with this, but I mean, it's just crazy. It really is. It's hard to wrap your head around how much things have changed over the last month. And hopefully we'll start to see some turnaround. But like I say, it might not be anytime soon. But we'll keep our fingers crossed and make the best of it. So let's see who's tuning in today. We have Dark Boy. We have Ralph. We have Moises. We have Josh, we have Lee tuning in. Hey, how's it going, guys? Let's say, got a question there. I started to go to the gym on the 20th of July in 2019, and nothing changed in me. Well, first off, I'd like to I'd like you to reevaluate everything. So you've been going to the gym since July of last year and nothing has changed. Absolutely nothing. So you haven't increased the weight on any exercise. You're not, you don't have any more cardiovascular endurance or work capacity, or you haven't seen any physical changes whatsoever. I find that hard to believe, because if you have done anything consistently, well, okay, July. So, I mean, you've been doing it for like half a year, right? A little more than half a year. If you've been working out consistently, at least 3 days a week for 6 months and have seen zero changes, then what you're doing is not a good program. I can tell you that right now. You need to get something together, because first off, I think you're probably being too hard on yourself, right? You're thinking, okay, I've been working out for 6 months. How come I don't look like a pro bodybuilder yet? Right? How come I'm not 20-inch biceps and bench pressing 500 pounds? And how come I don't have shredded 6-pack abs? Right? I've been doing this for 6 months. I mean, come on. Like, it doesn't happen like that. Chances are the people that you are looking up to and admiring, the ones who are on whatever, social media, fitness influencers, whoever, the people you're looking up to, I bet they've been working out for a minimum of 10 years to get to the level that they're at. And you're comparing your first year of training, which you haven't even completed a year of training, and you're probably comparing that to somebody else's 10th year of training, or maybe even more. So you need to give yourself time, is what I'm trying to say here. You need to give yourself some time. It's like building muscle is not something that's going to happen in a few weeks or a few months. It takes time. And the good thing is, guess what? We have time. Everything takes time. It's like someone, let's just change topics for a second, and let's just pretend, okay, instead of trying to build a muscular body, you're trying to get a master's degree in something. Like, I don't know, like a master's degree, you want to become a doctor. Let's just throw that out there. Okay, you want to become a doctor. So you go to university to get your degrees, and I mean, all the different specializations. I mean, of course, it depends on what kind of doctor you want to be. But like my cousin, for example, he's an ear, nose, and throat specialist. I'm going to use him for an example. I mean, he spent, my God, the better part of 10 years going through advanced education to become an ear, nose, and throat specialist. So imagine he went in there and said, you know what, I want to be a specialist, and I want to do it in 1 year. Like, people would say, you can't do it. It's impossible. Like, you have to go through all the steps to get there. And he says, no, I'm going to shortchange the process. I'm going to do it all in 1 year. You can't do it. It takes time. It's just like building your body. You can't shortchange the process. A lot of people, they start working out and they're like, oh, I want to build muscle as fast as possible. I want to do it as fast as possible. And, it doesn't work that way. You have to give it time, right? It's like if a woman wanted to have a baby, she can't have a baby in a month, no matter how desperate she wants to have a baby. Right? She has to go through the process, right? You can't shortchange the process. So that's my advice for you there. I think you're just being overzealous and expecting too much within your first year of training. That's what I would say. Now, who knows? I mean, I could be totally wrong, but if you would like to discuss a realistic approach to this, and, to kind of have me review your program, see what you're doing, see if you can improve it or whatever, and you'd like to have some help with a customized training and nutrition program, feel free to email me. My email address, lee@leehayward.com. Send me an email and we can chat about it. But I think you're expecting too much too soon. That's my 2 cents worth right there. All right, another question we got here. This one is from Moises, I think it is. I think that's how I pronounce your name. Says, Lee, I'm having a hard time coming up with an upper body workout at home. Been running and doing legs and abs, but upper body is an issue for me. Any advice? Follow along with the workouts I've been posting up on Facebook. Literally, there's, I don't know how many there is. There's over 2 weeks of workouts there now. And every single one, there's a lot of different upper body exercises. This past week, we did a full body part split, right? We cover exercises for the chest, the back, the arms, the shoulders. And that's all your major upper body muscle groups right there. So that's what I'd recommend. Follow along with those Facebook workouts. If you have a set of dumbbells, if you have resistance bands, you can do it. You don't need anything other than that. It's just very basic stuff. And I mean, you can get in an awesome workout with minimal equipment. And again, if you want, it's the Total Fitness Bodybuilding Facebook page. You can just go to Facebook and search Total Fitness Bodybuilding, or you can even go to my community tab on the YouTube channel. And there's links there directly to the workouts that I've been doing. I've been posting up there on the community tab as well. So if you want to go check that out, direct links to all the workouts that I've been doing. These are home follow along workouts that you can do in real time. Like it's not just a demonstration workout. Like I'm doing the workout in real time, and then in between sets, I'm chatting with people live, answering questions or talking about the workouts that we're doing. So, I mean, you could literally just push play and jump in and we can work out almost like virtual training partners, right? That's the way it's set up to be. It's not a video demonstration like a lot of my YouTube videos are. It's an actual live follow along workout where you can do it in real time. All right, let's see what else we got. Josh is joining us. Hey, how's it going? Robert's tuning in, a regular. Let's see what else. Robert's got a question here. My space at home is small. I've been doing deadlifts. Is that enough to help? Well, deadlifts is a great exercise, but there's a heck of a lot more than deadlifts. I wouldn't just have a one exercise workout. Hey, do a deadlift and then that's it. I mean, I would train all your major muscle groups. And it doesn't matter how small a space. If you have room to deadlift, you've got room to do push-ups. You've got room to do other exercises. You got room to do all kinds of different body weight moves. And of course, if you have deadlifts, if you're doing deadlifts, then chances are you have a barbell. You might even have some dumbbells. So you could do a lot of other exercises. So you can do rows. You can do overhead presses. I mean, you could do curls. You could do tricep work. You could do shoulder work. I mean, there's so much more that you can do besides a deadlift. Now, not saying that there's anything wrong with the deadlift, but, you know, there's a lot more that you could do and should do. Let's see what other questions we've got. Can you repeat my email? My email address is right in the video description. It's lee@leehayward.com. If you want to email, that's from Dark Boy. And like I say, if you have any questions, send me an email there. And like I say, we'll see if we can help you out. And if you're interested in like customized training, nutrition program or whatever, we can discuss that as well. All right, another question there. This one is Albanian Ryan, I think it is. My palms hurt after pull-ups. Will they go with time? I guess will the pain go with time? If you're having pain in the hands after any exercise, you're probably pinching some nerves or something. I mean, it's common sometimes in certain exercises to feel pain in your hands or in your palms, and it could be just the way that the barbell is resting or the way that the pressure is being placed on your hands. I don't get it often, but I have experienced it in the past. And one thing that may help with this, if wearing weightlifting gloves can sometimes help, right? Because it gives you a bit of cushion, a bit of padding in the palm of your hand. So you're not having the barbell or the handle or whatever it is you're lifting digging into the palm of your hand. If you have a glove, so I mean, that can help. Sometimes people will even like wrap small little hand towels around the barbell and grab onto that just to give them the same type of padding or cushion there. That sometimes helps. In the case of a pulling exercise, like you're mentioning pull-ups, using lifting straps might help with this because that will help to secure your grip, and then you don't need to grip as hard with your hands as you're doing the exercise. So there's two things that could be causing the pain. One is you're actually pinching, you know, nerves in your hands just due to the pressure of the handle in the palm of your hand. The other one is you may have actually strained some of the muscles or tendons in your hands, and it's the act of gripping, and there's like strain in those tendons and ligaments in the hands, and you want to kind of minimize the strain that you're feeling. So if it's from the strain of gripping, then using straps will definitely help because you won't have to grip as hard. You can also get like lifting hooks as well, which is very similar to a strap, except you literally don't need to grip at all. Then it's just, it fits onto your wrist the same as a strap does, but it's a hook, and you literally hook yourself on, and you can do your rows or your deadlifts or your pull-ups or whatever using the hooks. I personally don't have hooks. I use lifting straps because it still gives you a more natural feel when you use the straps, because you still have to grip, but you don't have to grip as hard, and it will secure your grip that much more. So that's what I would suggest in that situation. And, you know, if the pain continues to persist, then, you know, it might be worth getting it checked out. I mean, there could be other underlying causes. Like, I'll give you an example. I remember several years back, I had some pain in my finger. I actually made a YouTube video about it. If you do a YouTube search for Lee Hayward unexplained finger pain, If you do a search for that, you'll find that video. But it was just this sharp shooting pain in my index finger on my right hand, and I couldn't explain it. It was just like, and it came on all of a sudden, like it came on very quickly. There was no pain, and all of a sudden, like, man, my finger just hurts like crazy, and I couldn't stop it. Didn't know what it was on to go. So, I mean, I was doing all kinds of different hand exercises and stretches, and you know, thinking, okay, maybe I just need to work my hands out a bit more or whatever. Nothing was easing it up, and it went on for a couple of weeks, and then finally, I said, screw it, I gotta go to the doctor just to see what the heck this is. So I went and got checked out. What it ended up being was I had a nerve impingement in the back of my neck. And it's because I spend a lot of time working on the computer, and sometimes I'm not using the best posture, especially when you get busy with work and your head's slouched down and you're typing, or if you're on your phone and you're leaning forward and this and that, like that, you get bad posture. And I mean, I was guilty of it. So I had a nerve impingement, and the doctor gave me some exercises to do to help, align my neck and to alleviate that impingement. And within about a week of doing those exercises, the pain in my finger just went away, because I had aligned my neck, aligned my spine, and because all the nerves of the body run down through the neck, run down through the spine, everything, right down through your arms, your shoulders, your legs, everywhere. So sometimes if you're having weird, unexplained pains in certain areas, it could be a nerve impingement. And that's one of the reasons why I'm such a big advocate of doing a lot of mobility and neck exercises. Like if you've been following along with my follow along workouts that I've been doing on Facebook, every time we do a workout, we always start off with some warm-up exercises for the neck. And that's part of the reason I do that, is because first of all, you want to keep your neck healthy, and you don't want to have any aches or pains in the neck because it's such a critical area. But it also helps to alleviate some of these potential nerve impingements, which could cause pain throughout the body and a lot of mobility issues. So that's something you might want to look into. Again, if you want to watch the full video, just do a search for Lee Hayward Unexplained Finger Pain. That's the title of it. And I go in and explain the situation, and I actually show you the specific exercises that I did to correct the impingement that I had, the nerve impingement that I had in my neck. All right, let's see. I will also note that I have, who is this one from? Okay, this one's from, just scroll back up here. We've got CRVN5JO. I'm not sure how you pronounce your username, so I'm spelling it out. And he just did a super chat tip. Thank you for that. Much appreciated. Glad you enjoyed the chats and appreciate the support. And he's got a question here. It says, I've been training like a bodybuilder, not just lifting the same weight, but using progressive overload. I'm not sure if there's another question there as well to go along with that. I might be missing something. Let me see. I'm scrolling through the chat here. Seems like the question, I'm not sure if that was the question or if it got cut off. If you want to elaborate it on, that's fine. I've been training like a bodybuilder, not just lifting the same weight, but using progressive overload, which is the fundamental principle of weight training. I mean, and for those of you who are not familiar with what that is, if you're brand new to training, progressive overload, all it means is you gradually try and do more than you did before. Either you're lifting more weight, you're doing more repetitions, you're doing more volume, you're doing more workout frequency. Somehow you are increasing the demands that you're placing on your body. And that's something that you need to focus on over time. And the biggest one, like once you build up to a certain level of volume with your workouts, then it's usually increasing the weight. That's what you usually focus on mostly, because you just can't keep adding volume forever, or else you'll end up working out. It'll just get ridiculous, like, hours on end, every single day. And you can't recover from that. But what you can do is build up the weight. So, I mean, obviously, if you're lifting 20 pounds today, you want to build that up, right? You want to build it up slowly and gradually so that over time you're lifting heavier, right? You build up the weights that you're lifting, right? If, for example, if you're bench pressing 100 pounds now, you want to increase that. Like try and do small increments, right? 5-pound jumps ideally, or even smaller if you have them. You can get the fractional weight plates and even go smaller increments, but just building up the weight that you're lifting over time, because a bigger muscle is a stronger muscle and vice versa. So the stronger you get through progressive overload, the bigger you're going to get as well in terms of muscular development. But again, appreciate the support. And if you want to elaborate on that question that you had or comment, feel free to do so, and I'll try the best I can to help you out. Ali's asking, when will Corona end? And big crying face. I have no idea, my friend. I know it's frustrating. I feel your pain, and the whole world does. Right? It's crazy. I'm just curious, for those of you who are tuned in, like right now, like how has this affected you? Like, have you been laid off from work? I mean, or if you're a student, or obviously, I guess you're not going to school anymore. But like, how has this really affected you? Just let me know in the comments there. I mean, I know obviously, okay, you're not going to the gym anymore, but like besides that, has it impacted your work life to a great degree? Has it impacted other areas? I mean, I'd just be curious to see how this is impacting people. I mean, I know the economy is down the crapper, so you don't want to be looking at your portfolio if you're an investor. That'll make you cry, that's for sure. We got Robo Rich tuning in. He says, I'm on the verge of giving up training at home as I'm still waiting for resistance straps. How can I get motivation back? You can still make do. I mean, body weight exercises, dumbbell exercises, you can do that. You can even, like, there's ways to get creative. There really is. I mean, go on YouTube, go on social media and look. I mean, like virtually everybody who is a fitness influencer these days is pumping out home workouts. So there's no shortage of variety that's out there. I'm telling you, there's not. It's just you have the desire to actually take action and do it, right? Like, for example, the very first workout that I put up when I did my home follow-along workouts on the Total Fitness Bodybuilding Facebook page, that was a body weight workout. No exercise equipment whatsoever, and we covered exercises for all the major muscle groups. So, I mean, you can still work out, you can still train, even if you don't have any equipment. Now, of course, having some basic stuff, the dumbbells, resistance bands, like TRX straps, a pull-up bar, simple things like that can make a huge difference and add so much variety. I mean, you will come to appreciate exercise equipment so much more after going through this, because you'll realize just how much you can get done with so little when you're at home and you're getting creative. Like, even just things around the house, like backpacks and suitcases and chairs and things like that. You can get so creative with your workouts, right? Get a backpack and fill it up with books or soup cans or something heavy. And I mean, you can use that for resistance. Get a suitcase. One of the workouts actually showed I was doing suitcase rows, right? Take a suitcase, fill it up with stuff, and just do, you can use that as like rows or farmer's walks or loaded carries and stuff. I mean, there's always ways to get creative with this. Let's see what else we got. Fitz is joining in saying, advice for six-pack abs. I hate training the abdominals. Well, the key to six-pack abs is not necessarily abdominal training. The key to six-pack abs is diet and cardio, right? The ab training is like the icing on the cake. It's going to help to develop the actual abdominal muscles. But regardless of how much abdominal training you do, if your abs are covered by a layer of body fat, you're never going to see them. So six-pack abs comes down to diet and cardio more than anything, right? That's the key right there. I mean, once you get the skin that's covering the abs thin enough and lean enough that you can actually see the muscles underneath, then you'll have six-pack abs. But that's not going to come about from crunches and sit-ups and leg raises and all that ab work. Now, with that being said, yesterday's follow-along workout that I did was a complete abdominal workout using all body weight exercises. So it's something you can review. I mean, if you want to get some different ideas, some variety to change up your ab workouts, check that one out. And I've got a few YouTube videos covering different home ab workouts as well. But the secret to abs is not training the abs. The secret to abs is losing the fat that's covering them. All right, we have Science Fact joining in from London. Welcome to the chat. We have George tuning in. George says, I've got a home gym, so would I recommend just remove the curtains and carry on, or just make sure I keep active in the form of gardening and cleaning? I have a home gym, so would I recommend I just remove the curtains and carry on, or just make sure I keep active in the form of gardening and cleaning? Well, don't stop cleaning. It's springtime. If you enjoy being in the garden, continue to go out in the garden, but use your home gym. I mean, my gosh, you've got a home gym, use it. If it's covered in curtains, I mean, I've heard of people using their home gym equipment for like a coat rack, or it just collects dust down in the basement. I mean, most exercise equipment that people buy for home, it probably gets used a little bit while the novelty is still there. Oh, it's something new and unique, and I'll use it a few times, and then after a month, it's like, oh, I don't want to use that anymore. Let's just put it down in the basement, and the next thing you know, it's junk gets thrown on top of it, and it becomes a very expensive coat rack, and next thing you know, the thing hasn't been touched in weeks, months, or years. And that's the reality for most home gym equipment, right? So if you've got home gym equipment, dust that sucker off. Dust it off and make use of it. That's the only way you're going to be able to work out in these times that we're in right now. Got Stogie joining in from Scotland. He said, what are your thoughts on greasing the groove? He says, I've been doing mini sets of press-ups and squats throughout the day. I'm a big fan of that. And just to explain what that whole term means, greasing the groove, it means doing frequent exercises for different movement patterns throughout the day. And to give you an analogy, like let's just say you're doing a typical body part split routine, right? So, chest one day, back the next, legs the next, shoulders, arms, whatever, right? So you're basically hitting each major muscle group once a week. If you do that, then you're only hitting each movement pattern once a week. Now, you can still make progress doing that, which is great, but the idea of greasing the groove is doing more frequent exercises for different movements. So like in the case of like push-ups, it helps to work the pressing muscles more frequently. Squats helps to work the legs more frequently. And you can do it for pull-ups, or you can do it for curls, or any body part. But it's just doing these little mini sets throughout the day. And it just helps to, first off, you're going to be more loose and limber for those exercises. And what you'll find is the more often you do it, the better they're going to feel. And I'll sometimes do this myself. Like I'll even, throughout the day, I'll sometimes just drop down and do some push-ups and then do a set of squats, just kind of keep some blood flow and circulation happening throughout the body so you don't get stiff and, again, you don't feel that stiff and tight. It helps to keep some gentle exercise throughout the day and keeps your body more limber and active. And this is more important for people who live sedentary lifestyles. So, I mean, if your work is tapping on a keyboard or sitting at a desk, and talking on the phone and things like that. I mean, if that's what you call work, then you have a sedentary lifestyle, right? If you earn a living sitting on your ass, you're sedentary. So this stuff is probably even more important than ever, just to get up and move, right? Keep some activity in there, because if you're just relying on the actual time you spend exercising as your only form of activity, it's not really a lot, right? I mean, if you're sitting on your butt all day long and then you only exercise for an hour a day, I mean, still, the majority of the day, you're not doing anything compared to someone who has a physically demanding job where they're actually moving and doing and lifting and carrying and that kind of stuff. So I am a big fan of that. And it's good for things that you really want to focus on, right? So if there's any stubborn body parts that you want to work on, any stubborn exercises, doing little mini sets throughout the day is a great way to get better at those moves and help spur on some new muscle growth in those areas as well. And you don't need to push these hard. Like, it's not like you're training to failure or training to exhaustion. It's just adding in extra exercise volume, and it's just going to help to increase the total volume that you do over the course of the week and make you better with those movements. All right. So yeah, I've done that myself over the years, and I still continue to do it on a regular basis. We got Torpedo joining in. It says, good to catch you again, Lee. Got a couple questions there. First, I've been feeling 50% and don't feel like I have the energy specifically when it comes to doing high-intensity interval training. And number two, I feel pain in my left shoulder. Any ideas? All right. First, if you don't feel like doing high-intensity interval training, then don't do high-intensity interval training. Just do low-intensity cardio instead. That's fine. You don't have to do high-intensity cardio. I'm not a big fan of high-intensity cardio myself. most of the cardio that I do is low intensity cardio. And I like to do that on a regular basis. I actually enjoy it because it's something I try to get outside and do it, like taking my dog for a walk or going for a bicycle ride or something like that. So I mean, getting fresh air, feeling good, getting to enjoy the outdoors and getting my cardio at the same time. I'm not a big fan of high intensity cardio because if you're doing high intensity weight training and then combining it with high intensity cardio, you're going to burn yourself out. But if you do high intensity weight training and then low intensity cardio, it complements one another. One is high intensity, the other is low intensity. So it actually works with your body's natural recovery, right? You're breaking your body down with high intensity weight training and you're letting it recover with the low intensity cardio, but you're still keeping active, still burning calories, still getting blood flow and circulation and all the feel-good hormones and chemicals that come about from exercise. You're getting all that, but you're not breaking your body down. And I refer to this as my yin and yang training system. So the high intensity weight training, breaking the body down. The low intensity cardio is the active recovery to allow it to build up while still keeping active. So that's what I'd recommend in that situation. Now, with that being said, do I do high intensity cardio from time to time? Yes, I will, but it's not nearly as much as I do low intensity. And for me, how I'll usually do high intensity cardio is, like, let's say I'm going for a bike ride and I'm just feeling full of piss and vinegar someday. I got energy to burn and I just feel like, you know what? I'm going to ride hard today, or I'm going to ride some crazy hills today, or whatever. And then that would be my natural form of interval training, you know, like climbing a hill, and then you get that would be the high intensity portion. And of course, the low intensity would be the descent or riding on the flat. So, I mean, sometimes I'll get interval training that way, but more often than not, I'm doing low intensity, steady state cardio as a way to burn calories, burn fat, and get that active recovery without breaking down my central nervous system and without hindering the recovery from my weight training. As far as your shoulder, you need to do some shoulder mobility work. And I'm telling you, like, with all the follow-along workouts that I've been posting up this week and last week, every single one of them, we start off with shoulder mobility work. And I even have some YouTube videos covering that. Just do a search for Lee Hayward rotator cuff or Lee Hayward shoulder workout. Do that on YouTube and you'll see all the videos that I have covering those different exercises. Okie dokie. Let's see what else we got. Where else? Yeah, this is from Lee Dunnigan. He says, I get shooting pain in both upper arms when I release the weights after performing farmer's walk. I've used lighter weights and it's still the same. I really don't know what to say there. I mean, it could be, if it's something new, shooting pain in the upper arm. Well, what I would suggest for now, if it's only the farmer's walk, I would lay off the farmer's walk for a while. And just sometimes if you're doing repetitive movements, sometimes that could cause pain. But bottom line, if an exercise is causing pain or discomfort, don't do that exercise and try and find another movement that you can do instead. Now, in the case of the farmer's walk, that's like a loaded carry. So it's a total body loaded carry. I mean, obviously the arms come into play to a great deal, but like you could lay off that exercise and just train other muscle groups instead and still get a great workout. It's kind of like an optional add-on exercise. But as far as the shooting pain, I mean, it could be just repetitive movement. Like if you've been doing farmer's walks on a regular basis, maybe you just overstrain those muscles and they need some time to rest and recover. It could be nerve impingements, like I mentioned before. I mean, it's hard to say without knowing more about your situation, right? Because there's so many potential causes for having pain, and it sounds like it's a unique form of pain that you're having here because you're getting it when you release the weights. So I mean, like I say, that could be nerve impingements. I mean, obviously the farmer's walk is going to place a lot of stress right from the traps all the way down your arms, everywhere else. So I mean, that could very likely be what it is. Could be nerve impingement, or it could be something else. But bottom line, if I were in that situation, I would just lay off the farmer's walk for a while, like lay off for 2 weeks, and then just come back to it after a couple weeks and see if it bothers you. And does this bother you with other exercises? If it doesn't, then, again, maybe it's something unique to the farmer's walk. But I really don't have any specific advice. I mean, if it's really bothersome, I mean, get it checked out by a doctor or a physiotherapist. But for now, I would just literally lay off the farmer's walk. Oyson saying, Lee, if you could only get 2 types of resistance band for COVID, what colors would you pick? The colors depend on the brands of the band. Like, I really don't know what colors and tension. I mean, get whatever you can. Like, if you can get a heavy resistance, a light resistance, medium resistance, like whatever you can get, I would order them up. And order them up now, because these things are like being sold out like hotcakes. Like, I've had so many people message me from my workouts that I've been doing saying, oh, I can't buy resistance bands. Like, the stores are sold out. Amazon is sold out. Like, everywhere's sold out, and there's a shortage. So if you can find any resistance bands, buy them up, regardless of the color, regardless of the tension. If you can, like, you can even stack bands on top of each other. Like, if you can get a couple light resistance bands, then, I mean, if for bigger, heavier exercises, then you can just literally stack 2 bands on top of each other, or 3 bands on top of each other. And you can do, like for a row, you can stack 2 to 3 bands together for that. And then for smaller isolation exercises, just use a single band. But man, just get what you can get at this stage of the game, because they're selling out like crazy. And as far as the colors and the tension, that depends on the brand, right? It's not like it's not universal, right? So. Got Jacob's tuning in again. Hey, Jacob. Jesse is joining us. Says, hope you and your family are doing well. We're doing well. We're just bored from staying home, but other than that, we're doing well. What should we do when a body part has stopped growing? That's from Jacob. What should you do? Well, you really need to reevaluate everything that you're doing for that particular body part. And you got to kind of look at your overall situation as well. I mean, if you've been training for multiple years, which I know in Jacob's case he has been, you might be just literally close to your genetic potential, right? Like in my case, right? I've been working out since 1990. Like, I'm not going to make much new gains at this stage of the game, you know, in my 40s with 30 years of training under my belt. Right. I'm well beyond newbie gains. Like, I'm not going to start seeing like slabs of new muscle growth anymore. Like, I'm kind of plateaued. I mean, the best I can hope for is just kind of maintain my level of muscle and just try and stay lean, healthy, and fit. Like, that's literally where I'm at now. I'm not going to pile on slabs of new muscle. So you're going to have to look at the bigger picture and see where you are with your current fitness level. I mean, if you've been training for years, which I know in your case you have been, you're not going to see rapid gains, right? It's just a reality. It's not going to happen. The body just doesn't continually grow nonstop forever. If it did, I mean, the people would be walking around like 500 pounds and ripped and jacked, and it just doesn't happen. Like, everybody has their limit to how much muscle you can actually build. But with that being said, if you find that a particular body part is hit a plateau and it's just not responding, there's several things you can do. One, you can change up the exercises. So if you have a set routine that you're doing, you're always doing the same type of thing for that workout, change up the exercises, right? Do different exercise variations. Like, if you're always doing barbell exercises, we'll do dumbbell exercises. You know, for your chest workouts, if you're always doing flat bench, then try doing incline bench. You know, for legs, you know, if you're always doing squats, well, maybe try doing leg presses or front squats or lunges. I mean, just change up the exercise variations, and very often that can provide unique muscle stimulation to get you growing again. You could change up the set and rep pattern, right? If you always have doing the same set and rep pattern, like maybe it's 3 sets of 10. You're all like, every exercise is 3 sets of 10. Well, change it up. Maybe do 4 sets of 15. Maybe do 5 sets of 5. Maybe do 10 sets of 10. Like, you change up the set and rep pattern. Just by changing that can help to spur on new muscle growth because it's unique muscle stimulation. You could also change up the workout split or the workout frequency. One of the best things to do for stubborn body parts is to train them more often. So if you're currently hitting each major muscle group once a week, what you could do is continue to train all your strong, well-responding body parts once a week, and then your weaker, stubborn muscle groups, train them twice a week. So basically put your good body parts on a maintenance program, and then put your weaker body parts on a specialization prioritization program where you're going to prioritize the weaker body parts and just maintain the stronger body parts. I mean, those are just a handful of things. Like pick one or pick a couple, and you can even kind of like implement. Like you could double up the workouts, and then you could change up the exercises. You could do that. But bottom line, you just need to provide some unique muscle stimulation to get those body parts growing again. But you have to be realistic about it as well, right? I mean, like, you're not going to be making newbie gains if you've been working out for 20 plus years. All right, what else we got? Another question here is from CRVN5JO again. Again, I don't know what that username stands for, but I'll just spell it out. I'm building what I would call a decent amount of muscle, and I've gone down 6 inches on my waist. That is awesome. If you are seeing muscle growth and you've lost 6 inches on your waist, that's a perfect body recomposition, right? Building muscle and burning fat. So, I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, whatever it is you're doing, it's working. Keep doing it. That's a sign that you're making good progress. And this is like when I'm working with people one-on-one and coaching people, that's one thing that I always look for is I want to see their strength progress. I want to see their body weight change, and I want to really focus on the waist measurement. Because if somebody's getting stronger, if somebody's waist is getting smaller, that's a sure sign, okay, you're building muscle and losing fat. And you can do that with the right approach to diet and fitness, right? You can definitely do that. A lot of people think, oh, you can't build muscle and lose fat at the same time. And that's a crock of BS. You absolutely can. But the only thing is, you're not going to get bigger and leaner, if that makes sense, right? You can't go from like a skinny fat 150 pounds to, oh, I want to be 200 pounds and shredded in like matter of a few weeks or a few months. Like, no, that's not going to happen. But you can go from like, okay, I'm 200 pounds and I'm fat, and you can drop down to say like 175 pounds and be lean while also gaining a few pounds of lean muscle in the process. Like, when you lose fat and build muscle, your total body weight is going to go down because you can lose fat faster than you can build lean muscle. But you can still build muscle and burn fat simultaneously. That's totally possible. But where the confusion comes in is so many people have these unrealistic expectations. Like they're looking at like pro bodybuilder caliber physiques and thinking that they're going to get there in the matter of a few weeks or a few months. And it's not going to happen. Like a lean and muscular 200 pounds, like that could be years of training for most people, right? Like even after all my years of training, I am no longer a lean and muscular 200 pounds, right? After losing a lot of weight over the last year, and I've done so purposely because I let myself get fat. And, once my son was born back in 2016, and I mean, after that, I knew what to do, but I let myself go. And it was only over the last couple of years that I really got back on track again. I set a new goal for myself that, you know what, I don't want to go into my 40s as a fat, out of shape dad, with the dad bod. I said, I do not want that. I don't want my son to see me growing up or don't want him to grow up with a fat, out of shape dad. So I said, that was my motivation. That was like drew the line in the sand. I said, I'm getting myself back in shape again. So I really focused on it. And now, I mean, I'm a lean 185 pounds. That's what I'm at these days. And I feel so much better at that weight. It's a good, healthy weight for me. I feel lean and energetic and athletic. I don't feel heavy and sluggish or anything like that. I mean, it's just a very good, comfortable weight, and this is where I'd like to stay. So it's nice to be at a weight that you're comfortable with. And like I said, I'm fully planning on staying here. I have no desire to go back to my old fat, bulked up self. Like, I mean, at my peak, I was 240 pounds. Like, that was way too heavy, especially consider I'm only 5'6". Like, that's way too heavy for my frame. But 185 pounds, that feels really good. All right, let's see what else. We got James is tuning in. Welcome, James. He says, great work as always. I'm struggling to get the most from my deadlifts at home as I only have lighter weights. Do you have any suggestions? All right, you only have lighter weights. Well, obviously, you can do higher repetitions with your deadlifts. You can do deficit deadlifts. What a deficit deadlift is, it means that you're going to elevate your feet so that you actually have to pull the bar further. So if you have something like a block or a step or something to stand on to elevate your feet, that works. It makes it a lot harder. If you have resistance bands, you could even stack bands with the deadlift, right? You could wrap bands around the barbell. If you have chains or something else that you could add resistance, you could add chains. Like you see a lot of power lifters do this type of stuff, right? Add bands and chains to the barbell to add extra resistance. What I would suggest is get creative and see what you can use for resistance, especially for your home workouts. Like, it does not always have to be a weight plate. You can use something else for resistance. Like I give you a prime example. One of my coaching students, his name is Jonah, and he's big into powerlifting, right? That's his workouts. His workouts are all barbell based workouts, right? Squats and bench presses and deadlifts and overhead presses. And of course, the gym is closed. He doesn't have a home gym. So this is what he rigged up. He sent me some pictures. Maybe I'll post them up online if he's cool with it. I'll show you. But he got this big metal pipe. And I don't know what the pipe is from. It looks like it could have been maybe like a metal fence post or maybe like a metal post that like would be used for a stop sign or something like that. But it's just big metal pipe. And he got cinder blocks and he got a stack of pallet jacks. Just the pallet jacks that you'd see stuff stacked up on in warehouses. So a stack of pallet jacks, 2 stacks. So what he did is he has, two stacks of pallet jacks. He's got the metal pipe across it, and he tied cinder blocks onto this metal pipe. So he'll get up under that and use the pallet jacks like his squat rack and unrack it. And then he'll be doing squats with this metal pipe and these big 40-pound cinder blocks tied onto the ends of it. And he'll stack on several cinder blocks, all just tied on with rope. I mean, it's as raw and unconventional and it's just real. It's raw, put it that way. I mean, there's nothing fancy, nothing structured here. But the man is doing his squats, he's doing his deadlifts, and he's doing his presses and all that with the most crude equipment possible, but he's making it work. He's making it work. And I mean, I just tip my hat to the man. Like he's not using this whole thing as an excuse not to train. So he doesn't even have weights and he's still doing these workouts. So in your situation, you're saying you don't have heavy weights. There's probably something you could use instead. Like if you have cinder blocks, you could probably find a way to tie on a cinder block. Like those concrete cinder blocks, they're about 40 pounds each. Right? That's a lot of weight, right? If you had a couple of those, well, boom, you just jacked up your weight by 80 pounds. Look for something that you can use, right? There's probably ways to get creative. And I'll tell you, like, I've seen some crazy creative things before, right? When it comes to this. So, hopefully that spurred on some ideas, right? You'd probably be able to just get your gears grinding and think like, what do you have available or what could you get that you could use for weights? Of course, if possible, you go to the store and buy weights, but I know like a lot of home gym equipment is being sold out. Like even check out your local classifieds, like Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or Kijiji or any of the local classifieds and see if anybody's selling off weights, right? And now home gym equipment. Get creative. So I'm going to, all right, let's see what else we got. I run my own company and we have to shut down for the last 3 weeks. I found it mentally tough and miss my family, friends, the gym, but you have to remain positive. We will all come back stronger from this. Wow, that's from Lee. I feel you, man. That's rough. So I mean, you had to shut down your company, right? That is rough. And so many people have. I mean, it's crazy. Like it's the biggest stress of this, it's not the whole, I'm afraid to get sick. It's like, I'm afraid where the world is going and the economy and everything else. I think that's the biggest. And the stress, I mean, that's creating more problems than any virus ever has. Like it's the side effects of what we're doing to control the virus seems to almost be worse than what it is we're trying to cure. But like I say, let's just hope that everything has a reason and a purpose and that somehow this is going to serve us in the greater scheme of things. That's the way I like to operate anyway. All right, let's see what else we've got. We got Robert's joining in. We got John Doe is joining in. He says, is the squat and deadlift enough to train legs? I have limited equipment at home. Squats and deadlifts are great, but you can do a lot more than that. You can do lunges is another great exercise to do. Different squat and deadlift variations, everything from, well, when it comes to squats, obviously back squats, front squats, goblet squats, wide stance squats, narrow squats. You can play around with that. Lunges, split squats. walking lunges, jump squats. Like there's so many different squat variations when it comes to deadlifts. You know, you can do a conventional deadlift, a sumo deadlift, a deficit deadlift, a Romanian deadlift. You know, like you can still get a killer workout with minimal equipment, right? Don't use that as your excuse. Thoughts on intuitive eating? That's a very broad question. I mean, can you give me some context on what you want me to answer about intuitive eating? Most people are very intuitive. They just eat whatever the heck they want and look at the results of eating whatever the heck you want, right? The average person is overweight and out of shape and unhealthy. So that's the if you just eat what you want, that's the end result right there. But on a serious note, I mean, if you want to elaborate on that question, feel free to elaborate on it, and I'll try the best I can to answer it. All right, Josh is saying he carries his dog around, and it serves his purpose there for lifting. Okay, yeah, lift the dog. Well, what was the story about Milo back in the day, right? Oh shoot, the boy who he had a pet. His father gave him a calf when he was a boy, and every day he picked up the calf and carried the calf until it grew into a full-grown bull. What's the name? Milo. Oh, shoot. I even wrote about it in one of my ebooks years ago. I can't remember the story. But yeah, that's the whole story of progressive overload. Like supposedly back in the ancient times, like that's how they used progressive overload to explain it, right? How he carried the baby calf every day, and as the calf grew, he grew, and it got bigger and stronger because he carried the calf every day. So if you got a puppy and your dog grows into some big, massive dog, maybe you could use your dog as progressive overload. All right, let's see what else we got. RC is saying, no workouts, not doing much physical activity, just watching my diet. He says, had enough with the lifting coaches and bands. I'm taking a freaking break. It'll all do you some good. That's true. I mean, there's nothing wrong with taking a break, but like if this could be more than just a break, right? Like, I mean, hey, if you take a week off the gym, like if you've been overtraining and you feel like you need to take a week off or you want to, like, that's fine. But like, it's been more than a week already. And I mean, it doesn't look like it's anywhere near stopping. So if you just like stop training during this whole thing, like let's just say this lasts for, I don't know, 3 months. Again, I'm not like, I'm hoping it's going to last for 3 months, but just let's pretend it lasts for 3 months. So, I mean, if you don't do any exercise at all for 3 months, like you can lose a lot of muscle, you can gain a lot of fat, and you can just decondition a lot in 3 months. So I would personally try and find a way to keep active despite, all this. I wouldn't just use it as, hey, I'm just going to take a break. Short term is fine, but a long-term break, not so good. That's my opinion on it. All right. Any other questions coming through? Again, if you do have any questions, feel free to post them there in the comments section. I'll be more than happy to help you out. And of course, if you enjoy these video chats, give it a thumbs up. I do appreciate the support. If you like these video chats, give it a thumbs up, and that always helps. So that actually, I mean, if that's all the questions we've got, I'm probably going to clue it up, because what I'm going to do is I actually have to get ready now to do my live follow-along workout that I'm going to be doing on the Total Fitness Bodybuilding Facebook page. So if you're up for a workout, you can head on over there. Just I'll have a link to in the video description of this once the replay is posted up. But just do a search for Lee Hayward's Total Fitness Bodybuilding. That's where I air the live workouts every single day. And they go live at 6 p.m. Eastern time, thereabouts. Sometimes it might be a few minutes late getting going, depending on how things go. But every day I'm doing a live follow-along workout while the gyms are closed. So if you're up for one, feel free to join in. I'd be more than happy to have you tune in. And of course, all the replays of all the past workouts are there. So we've got metabolic conditioning workouts. We've got a body part split. We've got, there's a stretching day. There's a whole ab training day. But every single day while the gyms are closed, I'm going to commit to doing a live follow-along workout that you can do to keep yourself motivated and encouraged to stay fit. Excuse me. All right, yeah, there we go. All right, a couple more questions came through. I'll just answer those and then we'll clue it up. I'm 54 years old, having a hard time to build muscle. Any advice? Best thing I can suggest, send me an email and let's chat about your situation and see what it is that you're doing, right? Like we can discuss your goals, discuss your current workout, your current eating habits, and see what it is that you're doing, see where you can make improvements, and take it from there. Again, if you want, my email address is lee@leehayward.com. How do you combat low energy due to the current environment? You get off your ass and you do it. Seriously, sometimes you just have to do it. Like, I don't always feel energetic to do my workouts. In fact, most times I don't. But just the fact that I've committed to doing it, I do it anyway. And an analogy I like to give is, I'm sure, like, when you get up to go to work in the morning, like, you don't always feel energetic to go to your job. Like, maybe there's mornings you wake up, you say, like, you know what? I really don't want to go to work today, but you do it anyway. Same thing with your workouts. Sometimes you just have to do it. Even if you don't feel like doing it, you just do it anyway. And a little mental trick that can help is commit to doing a small workout. Commit to doing an easy workout. So those days when you're like, oh man, I just don't want to do it. I'm too lazy. I'm too tired. I don't want to do it. So I'm stressed out. I'm blah, 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 blah. Just say, you know what? I'm going to get outside and I'm going to go for a 10-minute walk around the block. That's all I'm going to do, right? That could be your cardio. I'm just going to go 10-minute walk around the block. Or, you know, I'm going to do a little 10-minute body weight circuit routine. I'm just going to do a set of push-ups, a set of squats, and a set of crunches, right? And I'm just going to do that for 10 minutes. Guess what's going to happen? Just the act of starting to exercise is going to make you feel better, right? I mean, even though you don't feel like it in the moment, the fact that putting on your sneakers, getting your ass in gear, and just starting to move is going to get some blood flow and circulation and everything else happening. And sometimes you might just do your little 10-minute workout, right? Your little 10-minute walk around the block, or like 10 minutes of push-ups, squats, and crunches. I mean, if that's the case, then that's fine. 10 minutes is better than no minutes. But what's going to happen more often than not is you're going to start, and then you're probably going to end up doing more than what you anticipated, because as you start moving, as you start doing it, you're going to start to feel a bit better, and you're probably going to want to do more. And I'm going to tell you from personal experience, some of the best workouts I've had have been times when I didn't want to work out. I was like, oh, I don't feel like it. I'm too lazy. Oh man, I'll do it tomorrow, whatever. And just kind of like push off. And then I say, no, I'm just going to do an easy workout, right? You know, sometimes it's even my wife. I get my wife to do this sometimes. She says, Lee, get off your ass and go work out. Don't be such a little bitch, right? Get off your ass and go work out. Sometimes you need that. So sometimes she'll tell me to do that. And that helps. Like, and then just the act of starting. The hardest part of a workout is to start. The hardest part is to put your sneakers on, change into your gym clothes, you know, get moving. That is the hardest part. Once the ball is moving, once the momentum is happening, then it's all downhill from there. It's easy. The hardest part is getting started, right? So learn how to make a habit of getting started. Don't overthink it. Just do it. Same with going to your job. Like, there's days you don't want to go to your job, but guess what? You do it anyway, right? Because you have to. Right? Imagine if you were as inconsistent with your job as you are with your workouts. You probably wouldn't be employed much longer because they'd find someone else who is more consistent, right? So you kind of have to have that attitude. You just do it anyway. Even if you don't feel like it, just do it anyway. And I tell you, more often than not, you're going to feel so much better about yourself, because after that workout's done, you're going to have the endorphins pumping through your body, all those feel-good chemicals, and you have that sense of accomplishment that you actually did something productive, versus that sense of regret of, oh, I was lazy, I didn't do it again, oh, blah, 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 right? Like, there's no sense of accomplishment from sitting on the sofa and watching Netflix, right? You don't feel good about yourself doing that. There's no sense of accomplishment, you know, being lazy. But when you actually do a workout, you get to feel good afterwards, right? Being lazy doesn't make you feel good afterwards. All right, with that being said, I'm going to get ready so I can do a workout and feel good afterwards. All right. Can you give me some feedback on how to deal with lack of progress, blah, blah, blah. Look, again, guys, I'm going to clue it up for today because we've been going for just about an hour now. If you do have any other questions that you would like to discuss, feel free to email me, right? I actually answer my own emails. I really do. Lee@leehayward.com. If you have any questions about your workouts, your nutrition, you want some personalized help, send me an email and we can discuss a realistic action plan that works for you. So I'm going to get ready. I got to clue it up, got to do a workout. We'll talk to you soon. Take care. Over and out.